be able to sleep tonight. And I said that last night and the night before. So at some point if I fall over, no, I'm just kidding. The excitement will keep me awake. How is everyone? You guys are amazing. Who is here for their very first convention? Me too, I'm in good company. Who here, this is not your first convention? Okay, so you guys know how it's done, but we're gonna keep adding to it and keep changing it up. And as you guys know, we're in Texas, so everything's bigger and better, y'all. Yes, we're glittery, we're sparkly, we're excited, and the excitement doesn't stop there. So we have another amazing guest to bring to the stage. This woman is incredible, also nominated for Club Moodstruck this evening. She actually started her unique journey in college propping her cell phone up on textbooks, believe it or not. She is a beautiful, elite status green presenter, and I am proud to welcome to the stage Miss Alexis Michaels.
With me on stage, I have Alicia, who I actually met on Instagram 2 years ago, so maybe 4 years ago. So she was a no for a little bit, fell in love with the Splash Liquid lipsticks, and then joined my team. So she's been with me on this journey for the past 2 years. And like Marissa was saying, I joined when I was 19 years old. So if I can do this, you guys can do this. So I'm completely self-taught when it comes to makeup. I went to YouTube University, taught myself everything that I could. So for this makeup look, so Alicia recently got married, so we're gonna be doing a dreamy makeup look. So for this dreamy makeup look, we've got her already illuminating from within. So we've got her base face done from moisturizer, primer, BB cream. One of the things I love about BB cream is it makes it look like you, but at your best. So it makes you illuminate from within. So she also has some powder over it just to add a little bit more coverage. And then she also has concealer underneath of the eyes, and then powder, and then the brows are done as well. So I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do a dreamy halo eye, paired up with a gorgeous contour and highlights. I'll be sharing with you guys my favorite tips and tricks when it comes to highlighting and contouring. And then we're going to complement it with a soft lip look. So we're going to get started. So she already has her face done. Okay, where are we starting? We're starting with some bronzing. So I do love the beachfront products, especially the bronzers. But one thing I love to use is a pressed powder. And I love to go in a couple shades darker than the pressed powder I would use for my face. So for today, since she has organza on, we're actually going in with chenille. So I'm going to teach you how to contour and make those cheekbones pop and stand out with chenille. And we're going to contour in a 3-shape motion. So I'm going to go in with the powder puff brush and just tap off any excess. So we're going to create this sun-kissed glow. So I'm going to start from the temple of the forehead along the side of the face. And then when you bronze, you want to go in a 3-shape motion. And so when you bronze, I love to bring that powder up just a little bit. You want to drag it up rather than down. You want to make those cheekbones pop and stand out. So we're just bronzing up this way. And then I'm also going to take that along the jawline. You guys see how that's popping on camera? So, I love, like I said, I love chenille. So kind of rule of thumb, you can play around with the pressed powders. Again, this is in the Mineral Touch pressed powder line. And again, going along the jawline, right along here. Let's say I go in too much around here. I'm going to show you a really cool concept called veiling. So I get a little bronzer happy. I cannot tan to save my life. And I love to actually go in with either the same shade as what I use for my face makeup or a little bit lighter. So you can go over that, around that area, and soften it up. So this is organza. I don't think I had it on the prepped list of things, but we brought it up here.
She brought her own. She came prepared.
I brought it.
Okay, who can share with us what is that technique called?
Bailey.
Yes, I saw a hand here, got a hand here. Alora's ready. Can we give it up for Alora?
So again, we're just doing it to the other side as well, and then just dragging that motion up. So you want those cheekbones to pop and stand out. Okay. Because I love this look, especially when it's like, I mean, it's a matte finish. So if you don't want that shimmery finish, you can go in with the pressed powders. So this is something I'll use all throughout the year, no matter what. Even if it's summer, especially in the winter, because again, my face cannot tan to save its life.
I can relate. Anybody else? You're like, woo!
So that is chenille that you used. And then next we're gonna go in and we're gonna add blush to the face. I feel like blush gets overlooked a lot. A lot of people don't use blush within their makeup routine. When you add like a BB cream or you add foundation or powder, sometimes that takes away from that color from that face. So we're gonna create that sun-kissed glow, or like adds that sun-kissed glow. Because like when you get that tan, you have that like flush color to your face. So we're gonna go in, and if you're kind of scared of using blush, go in with a fan brush. And we're using Sweet. I love Sweet. It works with so many different complexions. So we're just softly
Looking good. Give it up for her.
that way. Softly going over those. Perfect. So we've got that. I'm going to say highlighting toward the end, especially after we use our setting spray. But we're going to go in for lips. When you think of a dreamy lip look, what do you guys think? Color-wise, lip-wise? Nude. Okay, there's a lot of nude. Pink. So red would be good.
I said pink.
Pink.
Nude.
Nude. We've got some fabulous nudes.
Alora,
And I think of Dreamy. I love the glosses. I love that like voluptuous lips. So we're gonna go in. Prior to doing that though, we're gonna use one of the pressed powder shades that we're gonna be using for today's look. So we're gonna add a little bit of highlight to that Cupid's bow. What this is gonna do is it's going to help manipulate that lip to look a little bit fuller in that area. So that is gentle. I just went in with gentle, the pressed pigments. And then we're gonna go in with this liner. So we're going with Plush liner. Plush looks amazing on Alicia, so I had to incorporate it out. So we're just gonna line the lips. Good. Do this for a living. We're just lining the lips, creating a fuller pout. And you don't need to have it as like a precise line. What you can do is you can kind of like just like ombre it in a little bit. When you have that gloss that goes over that lip, it'll help softly blend in that color together. So you can use like blush, you can use Prudence, Pouty for liner, especially for like a soft nude. So, well-to-do would be super pretty, affluent for Dreamy, upper class. Okay, so we're gonna go in with some gloss. Lunar is one of my favorites. Oh, no, this is Lucid, but Lunar is a favorite of mine. So,
Lunar, also Lucid.
yeah. Depends on the day.
Do you guys like this?
So, we've got that gorgeous, luscious pout. Got some lip gloss on. Okay, so fun fact, when I was in college, I played college softball, and I'm pretty sure we won a competition, and I had to dance in front of the entire softball team and the college coaches to my lip gloss is poppin', my lip gloss is cool. And I had to apply it, and they have it on video, they showed like everyone it. It was so embarrassing, it was so funny.
I think you should do that. I think we need to reenact it.
I don't know about that. lips, we got the contour, we got that blush. So we're gonna go in all over the lid for this halo smoky eye. So if you're like, okay, what the heck is a halo smoky eye? I'm obsessed with doing halo eye looks. You can do it for like an everyday look, or you can do it for like a night out look, just depending on how intense you want to go. So the concept of a halo eye, what it does is that it makes the illusion that your eyes look bigger and rounder. So you have a highlight shade in the center sandwiched by two darker shades from the inner and the outer corner of the eye. So I'll show you guys how to do that. So that highlight in the center of that lid will just bring light to the center of the eye. It is gorgeous. So I'm going to be using like my favorite eyeshadow combinations for this look. So right here I have Victorious. I love to use this as a base. So let's say you're within like the fair and light medium complexions. You can use Victorious. When you get darker within the complexions, you can go with like Grateful or Faithful and Proud. So I love to use this, like I said, as a base. So close your eyes for me. We're just going over with a cream shadow brush. And this brush is amazing. I use this brush for concealer, cream shadow, sometimes applying lip products if I don't have my blush or my lip brush with me.
Top 3 favorite brush for me. Honestly, who else? What brush is she using? Shadow brush.
So we're just going all over the lid with the cream shadow brush. Blend, blend, and blend. Now that I'm not playing softball anymore, I swear like blending is my cardio.
Can we brand that? Yes. Blending is my cardio.
It is. No shame. So we're gonna go into this halo eye. So these concepts I'm gonna be talking about with like building up a smoky eye. You can do this for any type of smoky eye that you do. But again, like I said, we're gonna sandwich smokiness in the inner and the outer part of the eye. But we're gonna go in. And I'm going to use this blending brush. I love this brush for any just transition shades. So we're going to build up the smoky eye with my favorite shade, which is Astute for a transition shade. When you build up a smoky eye, you don't want to go in all at once with a really dark shade. Like, it's a lot easier to blend it out and build it up. So we're going to go in with this smoky eye for a halo eye. Usually for most smoky eyes, you just want to bring it from here to here. But for this, we're going to bring it all the way in because we're going to smoke out all over that lid. So this will create a very soft transition for our entire smoky eye. So, if you're curious about a good transition shades, I love Astute, I love Gingerly because they're complementary shades, so they work a lot with, work really well with different colors. So we're just blending back and forth. You can do in a windshield wiping motion. You can get super fancy and do like circular motions back and forth. So we're just building up that color. And after we do that, we blend out a bit. You guys can dance while I'm blending. Again, it is my cardio. Building up that color. Smokiness. So by the time I'm done with the smoky eye, you're going to see it smoked out the inner and the outer corner, and then the highlight over the center of the lid. You can do that same concept for the bottom, but we're going to create this a little bit more wearable. So just building up that smokiness. I love this crease brush because it sits perfectly right along that bottom lash line. So the next color we're going to do is Gingerly. So it's that caramel matte shade. I love this shade, so we're gonna go into the blending brush. Close your eyes, and we're just gonna blend in that same area that we had done for Astute. It's building up that color. So just blend back and forth. So again, like I was saying earlier, I'm completely self-taught. I joined Unique when I was 19 years old. I taught myself everything that I could from YouTube. I do have my own beauty business in the state of Washington, and I do freelance. So I love the confidence that Unique has given me in making me step out of my comfort zone and try new things. Okay, so I just switched before I said anything. So we're gonna go in with a crease brush. We're gonna smoke out the outer corner of the eye, so in a V-shaped motion. And so we're gonna just bring that up in a V shape. So how I was starting it out. That's how we're gonna smoke out the outer corner of the eye. And if you're doing a typical smoky eye, like this is the concept that you can do. But for this halo eye, what we're gonna do is we're gonna also take it to the inner corner of the eye. So we're gonna keep the center of the lid untouched. Even if you get that color in the center of the lid, it's not the end of the world. So we're gonna go in right here and just smoke out the inner corner with gingerly. So again, we're just building up that shape. We're gonna do it to this side as well.
Woo, that's gorgeous. Who agrees?
So building up that eye, again, I love these shades together. They both complement each other so well. So I'm gonna have you look up for me. So we're just smoking out that bottom lash line. And this is optional, like you don't need to do this, but it really makes his eyes pop and stand out. She has the most gorgeous blue eyes.
Yes.
So, you're gonna make me cry. So we're gonna go in with nonsensical. So we're building up that smokiness. So this is that matte brown rose shade. Close your eyes for me. And same concept that we adjusted with gingerly. And then I'm just gonna pop a little bit of this in the center of the lid, or the inner corner of the eye, not the center. So same with this side as well. So who here is anyone a first timer for convention? So I'm not gonna reveal things, but you're gonna have the most incredible time of your life. My first convention was in Chicago. I was 19 years old, and I remember looking at two of Unique Corporate's makeup artists, Tia Montgomery, and I think it was Denise. And I remember looking up there on stage, and I was like, maybe one day. I was a Blue South presenter. I think I was sitting like front row on the side, and I was like, one day I will do that on stage. And I love to do YouTube videos. Live videos scare the heck out of me. So for me to be up on the stage and not stuttering and stumbling over my words, again, Unique has given me so much confidence to share these things with you guys. So we're just building up, so I'm getting carried away. Building up that color in the inner and the outer corner of the eye. So we're gonna add that highlight to the center of the lid now. So this is a really gorgeous build-up of highlight. So we're gonna go in with Hopeful. I love this. This shade is absolutely stunning over the center of the lid. We're gonna take the cream shadow brush and go over the center of the lid. And I'm just popping this over the center. And I like to lay this down because it acts as a very soft, beautiful base. And let's say you have a hooded eye. Like I have one eye that's more hooded than the other. It's the weirdest thing ever, and I hated it growing up. But the cool thing is that when I did live videos, I could relate to those that had more of a hooded eye. So I didn't mention this earlier, but your transition shades and your smokiness. Let's say you wanted to make more of that color pop on that lid. You can bring up that transition above that crease. Like I had to bring it above the crease for it to match this eye. So I would smoke it out and then bring that color above. And let's say when I do this look on myself and I have one eye that's more hooded than the other, close your eye for me, I'll bring this Hopeful shade just a little bit higher than my crease. Okay, we're just gonna go over the center of the lid. And we're just packing that on. And it is just so stinking pretty. And you can, well, like, what other sports cream shadows would you replace with this if you're doing a live? Elegant. And Victorious. You can do a gorgeous matte halo. It gets better. So I'm gonna go over with a metallic pigment. So as we transition into fall, this is a really awesome concept because fall, you get to play with some gorgeous colors. So let's say like a metallic. What metallic colors would you go over the center of the eyelid? Gentle, manipulative, credulous, slick, This definitely the metallics and the shimmers would be gorgeous. I say gorgeous a lot. I love it. So we're gonna go over the center of the lid now, and we're gonna really make this halo eye pop and stand out. So we're gonna bring the light to the center of the lid. So this is the deluxe brush. I'll go in with this with Gentle. This is my favorite metallic nude pigment.
Same.
I'm gonna hit pan on that one before anything else.
I'm like, I'm gonna need 6 of these at one time.
So,
one in my car.
one of my favorite concepts. Who here has taken setting spray to a metallic pigment? What does it do?
Pops.
Vibrant,
Sparkle out.
vibrant, pop, stand out. Okay, so we're gonna take this. This setting spray is so versatile, I love it. So we're gonna spritz it. Hold on. So we're gonna go over the center of the lid. Right here. You can bring up that color if you'd like, but it really makes it pop and stand out. Okay. Do you see how that pops even more? It's like, bam, I see you. So we're gonna go to the other side. Okay, I'm gonna brush this away. Okay, so let's say you're doing a smoky eye. Typically I'll do my eyes first and then my face makeup. But what you can do, let's say you have concealer underneath of your eyes. What's one of the cool things about having translucent powder underneath of the eyes as you allow it to set when you do a smoky eye? Let's say you have tons of powder underneath of your eyes. What can you do after you?
Brush it away.
Brush it away. So I like to think of it as a concept of like a baking kind of, like almost like a safety net. So you just like wipe it away, especially if you do any smoky eye. I don't really have that problem with these pigments, but sometimes I might, especially when I get a little too blendy happy. But they are so pigmented and they stay on the lid, so I love these pressed pigments. So we're gonna highlight the inner corner of the eye too as well. So we've got that color on the lid. Did I do it to the other eye? I think I did it to the other eye. Hold on. So, when you highlight the inner corner of the eye, what does it do for your eyes?
It opens up.
Yes, makes them pop and stand out. So, I love to use a cream shadow brush, but recently I've fallen in love with a liner brush because the liner brush gives a very precise, it's a new eyeliner brush, gives a very precise application. So you can go right to the inner corner of the eye. So look up for me. So super pretty. It just like lamps up the eye. Makes that highlight pop and stand out. What other inner corner eye highlight shades would you think would be amazing other than Gentle? Optimistic, yes. So we've got that. I'm gonna have you do your mascara for me. Okay, so we're gonna do some Epic mascara. I love this mascara. When
I use that one like all the
I
time.
get to do it without a mirror.
That's Epic mascara.
So I love this mascara. Pearl separates lashes. I'm pretty sure when we announced that, or when Unique Corporate announced that we have this mascara, I lost my voice. This mascara, obviously, game changer to our product line. It's amazing. I actually love, we're not using the 3D mascara for this, but I tell my customers the 3D mascara is like the push-up bra for your lashes. So you wear the Epic mascara. I love to wear the Epic mascara as a base, and I like to go over the Epic mascara with a little bit of some 3D just in the middle of the lashes up past the tip. So that's one of my biggest ways I sell the duos, and then also the trio as well. So you're good. Do you want me to hold this? Here.
Let's show them some love, guys.
You were like one of the first ones up.
So again, this concept, super gorgeous if you want to do like an everyday look or a night out look, depending on like how intense you go with the colors. So you can go into like the blue shade, cynical, add in some like a light to the center of the lid. I did a tutorial on that a couple weeks ago. Love it. And again, for fall, you can go into like brown shades, purple shades, warm complementary shades.
So pretty.
So I do love my metallic stuff. The metallics are gorgeous over the center of the lid. So we've got that. And after we have her finish up her mascara, we're gonna go in with some setting spray and highlight. No rush, okay. Yeah, keep on. Do you guys have any questions so far?
Oh, yes. Where's Alora? She's running. Hold on. Loud and proud, girl.
You guys having used the sunscreen before, the setting powder.
You said what?
Our sunscreen.
Oh, the extra setting powder.
Finishing powder.
Yeah.
Finish powder over the face? Oh, you could do that for veiling, softening the look. Is that for what I was talking about earlier?
Yeah, it gives it a nice soft aromatic.
Oh yeah, no, that's a great idea. I love that. So you can definitely use like the finishing powder to soften, veil the look. That's a really great idea. I love
Great
that.
hot tip.
So we've got that. Okay, we're gonna go over the brow bone with some highlights. I love using the cream shadow brush just to highlight that brow bone because it just makes it pop and it makes it look more lifted a little bit more. So this side, and let's say we go in with a little too much highlight. What you can do is you can just softly blend it out with a deluxe brush, a blending brush. Sometimes I get a little too highlighter happy. Okay, so this is where it's my little tip when it comes to highlighting. So I love to actually set the face first before I apply any type of highlighter to the face. So I'm gonna set your face. Setting spray. Trick when you are using the setting spray, hold it down all the way. It like disperses the spray like perfectly rather than like kind of like shooting out a little bit. So with that, if you want to pop and highlight, you can go in while the face is a little bit damp. I'm going to have you look that way for me. And actually I'm going to spray a little bit more on the side. So while it's a little damp, I'm going to go in with the blending brush. I love to use the blending brush if I want to pop and highlight. Or let's say like I look back at it and like the light hits it, I'm like, oh hey. So we'll go over that right here with the blending brush. And then in a C-shaped motion, where the sun hits it, it makes your cheekbones pop and stand out. Do you guys see that here? Right there, right there. I see you. Okay, other side. So we're gonna go this side. C-shaped motion. And then we're gonna go to the nose right here. We did a little cupid spell at the beginning, but yes, that is one thing I love to do right here. And then some around here. So I think that is the completed look. This is my look. But again, whether this is your first convention or not, what you learn from the club Moodstruck makeup artists today, throughout the week, as well as anyone else who is presenting and doing makeup tutorials and everything else, learn out loud, learn as you go. Again, like I was saying earlier, we have such an incredible opportunity where we get to help women feel beautiful and feel confident and feel like the best versions of themselves. So as you're on your own self-discovery from learning about how to take your makeup and your skincare game to the next level personally, share that with the world because the world needs to hear those things, whether it's encouraging someone to take 5 minutes out of their day for themselves, self-love, or maybe it's just sharing about a mascara that it's more than just mascara, it's giving that gift of confidence to someone. So that's one thing I love about this company and this product. So yeah. Any questions?
When you were talking about veiling using translucent powder, what is another item that you could possibly use?
For veiling.
I need to repeat the question, Melissa.
So when she's asking about the other products to use when veiling, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you could use the translucent setting powder, like anything that's like a very soft, lightening powder. Again, she was using organza. Let's say you're using like taffeta or a darker pressed powder. Go a couple shades lighter to help soften that makeup look. Finishing powder also works as well too. So.
Did I get it?
Okay, it's okay.
If you have like smaller eyes that are closer together, would you still recommend? Could you still do a halo? And if so, would you modify it and just bring the darker colors?
You can definitely modify it, just not go as, let's see here.
She asked for different eye shapes, right? So
Yeah,
like
different eye
any
shapes.
different eye shapes, can you still do a halo? What do you guys think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
Like, how else could you modify it?
And as you're playing around and you're looking to see how it works on you, like start to manipulate that, because what may work on Alicia may not work on you, but you can still take those concepts and, like I said, manipulate it to where you feel confident. Because that's really like all that matters, is how confident you feel with those things.
How you feel. If you want to rock it that day, girl, yes.
Absolutely.
It's all about your mood, get it?
Contouring the nose, okay. It's okay. So she asked about tips for contouring the nose. Chenille, love Chenille. So within Chenille, one thing you can do, I swear, I use this brush for everything. Highlighting, eyes, bronzing. You can take this and you can just shade right here. And what this does, again, contouring, what contouring does is it manipulates your bone structure to look a certain way. So like I said, we made her God-given facial features to be able to pop and stand out. And so with that chenille powder, we went in that way. We're just kind of manipulating this a little bit, making her nose pop a little bit more. But do you see how you can take it along the sides of your nose? That was one thing I learned from YouTube University. Just looked it up on YouTube. Again, when you highlight the end of the nose, you just add it to there. It kind of makes a little bit more of a button nose. You can kind of round it off to right here as well. And again, everyone's nose is different, so what may work for you may not work for someone else. So. Oh my gosh, her brows are amazing. So, you use for brows, you use the brow pencil, right?
Brow pencil, and I brush it with like the spoolie at the end afterwards because it blends out the liner. If you just leave it, then you have like chunks of liner, but if you brush it afterwards, it falls.
So taking the brow pencil, applied it, taking the spoolie end of it, you can soften it, so if you feel like it's a little too harsh, take a spoolie or like, let's say like a dry mascara wand and like softly soften through it and brush it up. But yeah, because I mean, her brow bone is popping right here. One other cool thing too that I recently discovered, you can use the eye primer to set your brows in place. So let's say that, this also goes with the finishing or like the, the veiling concept. So let's say that you're using the setting wax from the brow palette. You don't want to have that kind of like a little bit of that wax appearance. You can go over that with powder. But let's say you want to go over that with the eye primer. The eye primer, it's nude, so you don't really see it. So you can take, I don't have a brush up with me. Let's say you take the liner brush or the brow artist brush. I love the brow artist brush. You can take a little bit of the eye primer and you can brush it through right along here and just shape it, like keeps it in place. It's like hairspray, but for your brows.
Ooh, that's a great hot tip.
I mix kind of between the two.
What was the question?
So she was talking about the brow palette. The highlight pink shade, the highlighter shade, it's kind of close to like benevolence. I tend to kind of like mix between the two. My personal favorite is I like to go in with like a concealer and sculpt right along the bottom part of the brow. There's kind of a huge trend of the insert brows and really highlighting around the brows and above the brows, but that was over like the past couple of years. But like now it's more that soft brow effect, so that highlight underneath the brow and above it, it's not super in, but if you really want to, let's say you go in and you shape and contour out your brow with, or sculpt it with a brow palette or the pencil, you can hide any of those baby little hairs, and that's why I love the pink, and mix it a little bit with that shimmer shade, that highlighting shade from the brow palettes. Or you can take a concealer and just hide or write along here with a flat end or a concealer brush, the flat end of the brow artist brush. Does that make sense?
I love it.
Why do you use the lip gloss? Is it just a personal preference, or is there something to it besides the other lip products?
So she was asking about why I decided to go with the gloss. For this dreamy look, we're just going for like that soft, elegant look. For the eyes, I really don't want anything to overpower the eyes for this look. So whenever I do a smoky eye, personally my preference is, let's say I do a smoky eye, I love to go in with like well-to-do. It's definitely one of my go-tos. But again, I wanted more of the focus to be on the eyes rather than the lips. But when I think of Dreamy, I think of like soft and plush and just like a little glossy. But favorite combinations, you can take like a lip stain, put a little bit of gloss over it, or you take like a lipstick and put a little gloss over it too as well. Or you don't have to do gloss, or do a hottie. So.
On YouTube, I see a lot of contouring around the forehead.
So she asked about contouring around the forehead. So I hope I'm getting this right. So I have learned, I can't remember where I learned this from, but contouring around the forehead. So let's say we're taking chenille. I can't remember where I learned this from, but let's say you have a really big forehead. I kind of have a big forehead. So there's like 4 fingers, 5 fingers. So about, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not a professional makeup artist, but rule of thumb, 4 or 5, you can definitely get away with contouring around the forehead and the temples. When you start to get a little bit less, around the 3 and the 2 mark, you want to stay within more of the temple area. And then if you're like, it's from your brow line to about like your hairline. Does that make sense? 4 fingers, yeah.
Thank you.
Woo! Give it up for Alexis. How about you? Model. And give it up for yourself. You guys are incredible. You guys are so good. Everybody up. Give yourself one round of applause.
You guys are gonna have an incredible time at convention. This is my favorite time of the year. I swear it's like Disneyland for me. So go be amazing, have so much fun, and share with the world, those that you're connected to, especially on social media and off social media, with what you learn. Because you're gonna make an incredible impact in other people's lives.
Thank you. She will be around for questions. I know you guys still have some, so she's gonna hang out for a couple minutes, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, perfect. That's what I thought. Thank you, guys.
Nice and loud one more time for Marissa, Alexis, and Laura running around. Have you guys all your gifts over there?